right, Mr. Ledgett, Mr. Baker, it's good to be here. Why don't we cut right to the chase? So we are against marijuana legalization. Let me just give you a little bit about this. So marijuana legalization will have a negative effect on people's everyday lives. One of the biggest concerns are teenagers and children. Do we want more children exposed to this? If kids got easier access to marijuana, how would it affect their schoolwork? We have to think about the future of Canada, which lies in the hands of our children. Driving impaired by marijuana is also an increasing risk, and by legalization would make the cases of driving under the influence increase aggressively. Do we really want more dangerous drivers on the streets?
That's all we got for
So we are for marijuana legalization. Marijuana is a very controversial issue in society today, although many slanderous claims have made about cannabis in recent history. The truths are slowly starting to surface. The truths about marijuana are currently under scrutiny. The use of marijuana is not a new thing. Specifically, Chinese Emperor Puhis in 2900 BC stated that in China, cannabis was often used as popular medicine. He stated that it contained both yin and yang. Nowadays, many studies have shown that marijuana can be used medically to improve success within treatments of cancer, depression, and PTSD. We ask all people here today, to open your ears and open your minds to the possibilities of the healing power of marijuana.
Okay, back to you guys for your 4 points.
Okay, so point number 1, let's start out with people and everyday life of people. So by smoking marijuana, people can become really reliant or dependent on it, smoking it every day. And it could take over their lives at work or for teenagers at school, anything like that. A lot of employees don't want or a lot of employers do not want their employees to be smoking marijuana while they work. It could add a distraction level to work, for sure. It could also, cause some legal concerns if you were working within a profession as a doctor or something. Smoking marijuana when pregnant could also help alter the child's memory, problem solving, and how well they pay attention, which could be a problem for babies if marijuana was legalized. And then some symptoms of long-term use of marijuana are temporary hallucinations and temporary paranoia. So paranoia could affect how we interact with others because we wouldn't trust others. It would break our trust between people. And then another long-term use could lead to getting less high and more users chasing a different high and experimenting with other drugs.
So driving under the influence of marijuana is something that I'm thinking maybe you guys have forgotten to think about. So accidents in emergency rooms in hospitals will those will increase. Marijuana gives bad judgment, which is a concern with motor vehicles. Marijuana use tapers with coordination, it dwindles decision making, and it plays with perception. So driving under the influence of marijuana will fill roadways with vulnerability and danger. Driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal, and there will be, without a doubt, increasing numbers of drivers under the influence if it is legalized, as users will want to use the drug in places they before could not. Right off the bat, police forces would become engrossed in having to be on the watch for more drivers under the influence if marijuana was legalized. Let's go back to children and teenagers. Easy access to the drug would cause a lot more people to start using, and more teens and children would try, likely affecting their lives later on. Before, kids could try and resist peer pressure because it was an illegal drug. Now what will stop them from something so accepted? If kids and teenagers have better access and get caught in the addiction and latest trend and start smoking marijuana on a daily basis, then it could jeopardize their learning experience in school. Through my years in high school, every single person I knew that smoked marijuana would skip class almost daily to go smoke. If hooked on the drug, it will become more of an interest, in fact, a priority over their education. It will impact education in schools because school will become a main place for marijuana use by teenagers because it is away from home and their parents. Here's something interesting. The National Institute on Drug Abuse states that while under the influence of marijuana, people have troubles forming memories. If a student goes to school after they have smoked marijuana, they are less likely to remember everything they have learned that day, which will make them fail tests. Smoking also interferes with your timing, movement, and coordination, so this would affect your ability to do sports to the best of your ability.
Thanks. Okay, 4 minutes is up, so back to you guys for your 4 points.
Okay. So, our first point is about, obviously, health. First of all, from being breathed in, THC in marijuana first enters the bloodstream through the lungs and gets picked up by proteins. These proteins then land on the surface of many cells and give side effects like increased appetite and pain relief. For the side effects of smoking marijuana can be indispensable for patients because in 2011 there was a study that said the loss of appetite and taste and smell decreases the enjoyment of food for many patients in Canada. They then were given THC pills given to them in increasing amounts over a period of a week. In the group they received THC pills, 73% of them said that their appreciation for food increased and 64% had an increase in appetite. In many cases, there are damaged nerves that come with some cancer surgeries, and the THC in marijuana help give them that pain relief for those patients. We even have a small testimonial from a 9-year-old with PTSD. He was abused, and he says that it helps with daily tasks like school, work, and relationships. He said, "My mind races, and cannabis helps me slow down and think through the trauma, rather than hide from it. I can tell it's helping me because my sleeping patterns are normal, and I don't have anxiety attacks." You see this all throughout Canada, the United States, that these people who have extreme pain, extreme trauma, people who are going through cancer treatments and their cells are literally degrading. People with depression, is many studies have shown that cannabis can help with depression and start to rewire brain processes and the reward pathways in the brain. That it can help people become more healthy.
Our second point is it will create tax revenue for the government. As of January 1st in 2014, Colorado legalized marijuana. In the first month, they created $2.1 million of tax revenue. Assuming a similar model for Canada, some economic majors in universities tested it out, and in the model it said Canada would make $5 million a month and about $60 million per year based just on Toronto. Toronto's population of 13 million. Imagine what it could do for Canada. Actually, they estimated that it would be about 13.5 million per month and $162 million in tax revenue per year for Canada. This money could be used for schools, hospitals, and the money would get out of organized crime. As of December 1st in 2015 to January 1st of 2016, Colorado made $85.3 million in tax revenue alone. That's only after 2 years of it being in cycle in the state. It could increase in Canada. Just just like the Colorado. And also looking at crime in Colorado as of January 1st. Since in 2010, 9,011 people were arrested for possession.
Time's up.
Record.
Wait.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, first off, when you start talking about forming a dependence, we actually found from the World Health Organization site that the only kind of symptoms that you, so let's say that you did form a dependence, the only kind of symptoms that you would face were sleep difficulties, decreased appetite, cravings, restlessness, and physical irritability. And also the National Institute on Drug Abuse backed up that claim. And when you look at other larger drugs, hardcore drugs such as cocaine, methamphetamines, they, you know, if you start to go into withdrawals, people can die. These kind of withdrawals for people who do have a dependence on it are so small that even it said that that the symptoms of withdrawal peak within the first week and then decrease until after 2 weeks, they will have no dependence on it. So you can kick it in 2 weeks, other than something like
Meth.
Yeah, meth or even
Cigarettes.
antidepressant pills. Okay. Okay. Next, you were also talking about driving with marijuana, and from the National Institute on Drug Abuse, we also found that there was a study done in 2011 that showed that people that there was no more crashes or like no foreseeable change in crashes as to when it was legalized. So.
Okay, well, touching on that driving under the influence point, there might not be as many crashes, but that's not with everyone or like most people consuming marijuana. Because marijuana does, in fact, affect your coordination. So if something were to happen quick and you didn't notice right away, something would still happen and you'd be at fault for driving under the influence. Another point we did want to touch on for one of your guys' points was there's no health concerns to smoking marijuana, but actually smoking marijuana is a health concern in itself because it's much like smoking tobacco where the actual burning of it, the actual smoking of it can affect your lungs and cause lung problems. And it would be safer to, say, vaporize it or anything, but smoking it does affect people's lungs. Another point we wanted to, go ahead.
What stopped people from legalizing cigarettes or alcohol, even that is more degrading to a person's body than marijuana use?
Even fast food is
And-
more dangerous to a person's body than marijuana.
And many studies are beginning to find out what a legal limit for marijuana smoking could be, and it can be regulated just like alcohol when driving.
Okay, we'd like to, let's go into the crime part again. So, first of all, definitely right in the beginning when they legalize it, we're definitely going to see kind of an overload of police that are having to check more vehicles now for impaired drivers. There has actually, what about the possibility of break-ins to houses or even just backyards of people who farm marijuana and people who are looking for it cheaper? Criminals could break in, crime rates could definitely go up.
Even at that, with the legalization of marijuana, it will be tax regulated. And for a lot of people who do smoke marijuana already, nobody's going to be wanting to pay twice the price, 3 times the price for weed when they could go back to their dealer and buy it for $10 a gram, buy it no more.
Sorry I didn't mention it, but on the models used against to Canada, that was only 40 cents to the dollar. So for every dollar you pay for marijuana, you only have to tax 40 cents more.
And
That could-
also, you said beforehand that kids would be more likely to use it because it is not illegal now. But then now you've just said that people still wouldn't buy it from the government because it would cost more than the illegal. So which one is which? Are
Well-
people going to be buying more or buying less?
Time's up.
Okay, it's the end of the open
I
debate.
do not believe marijuana should be legalized for many reasons, one of which being it will affect how people work. It will affect how people work in society, how kids go to school. It will affect their attention spans, how much they absorb, how much they learn. But it could also have a gateway drug kind of feature. I'm not saying it's a gateway drug to heroin, to meth, that kind of stuff. I'm saying it's a gateway drug to tobacco. It's a gateway drug to smaller drugs that are still harmful but less harmful, like acid, sativa, or magic mushrooms. So the fact that it will be legalized and like people will have regular access to it, this might, I don't know how to word this, this might like make them want to experiment more and chase different highs. And because marijuana is now legal, well, what else can I try that's illegal? And then once kids get more access to it, say because their parents have a half ounce hidden in their drawer, if kids got a hold of that, it would drastically affect their schoolwork because they don't know how to handle it, they don't know how to control it. And yeah, that's all we got.
If we look at harmful things in our society, ranked medically above marijuana, cigarettes, alcohol, tanning beds, and consumption of fast food. How many of you oppose the legality of these kind of things? So why should we oppose the legality, perhaps, of marijuana? And that's it.